It's Munchkin Land unboxing. Hi, everyone. I'm Steven Schleicher. This is Dr. Bradley Will. Hey, Brad.
Hey.
What do we got in the box today? It's not, usually over the last couple of months and years, our Kickstarter campaigns or games that we've been waiting for have come in like boxes the size of, pickup trucks. This is a smaller box.
This is smaller. This is a more reasonable box. But here, feel it, lift it.
Oh, that's a little bit heavier than I thought.
Yeah.
I really thought this would be light. This feels like there's a lot of cardboard in there.
There's some weight to this one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a little role-playing game called Dusk City Outlaws.
Dusk City Outlaws. Now, who puts this game out?
This is from Scratchpad Publishing, which is basically like a one-man operation.
Oh, okay.
This is Rodney Thompson's venture. Rodney...
Oh, from...
Yeah, you know Rodney as the designer of Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
I know Rodney from my time working with Wizards of the Coast as a freelancer on the Star Wars Saga Edition role-playing game. Rodney was the lead on that, on the sort of like the last half of that series or so.
Neat.
So, here it is.
All right.
Little invoice. Nice.
And we don't need to see your address.
No.
Whoa. So, Dusk City Outlaws. This looks like a Western-inspired game.
It is not at all. Not even slightly. Not even vaguely. The setting is New Dunhaven, an urban area. Imagine Venice with canals and gondolas. Renaissance era. Slight touch of magic. But not a lot.
So this is a board game, role-play game. I mean, what is this game about?
Role-playing game, but a role-playing game that is devoted exclusively to the business of heists.
Oh, cool.
So every story is a heist story.
Here's a...
I got a finger now. I'm good enough. And it's designed to be played sort of just like off the shelf. Just grab it off the shelf and start a game. So you've got a few friends. Somebody's willing to be the game master.
Like it says 3 to 6 players.
Yep. Let's see what we got inside.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
So here's the judge rule book.
Okay.
Which is nice.
And so this is the judge as your game master.
Game master.
So you do have to have someone running the game so it's one against many.
It's not an against. This is a role playing game.
Okay.
So it's it's your traditional GM sort of move. So it's not playing against. You're doing a nice little pleasant story where the characters are the criminal types running a heist. So I mean I guess it's one against many, but it's a role playing game. So there's the player rule book.
All right. These are very thin for for an RPG.
Right.
You expect these big thick manuals that explain everything about the universe.
Yeah, and so thinness is a good thing. There's not a lot of business here to read, to worry about, to fret over. So you should be able to just pull it out and get it done. Look at this. Look at the.
Yeah.
Now, I know a little bit about this because as part of the Kickstarter, I have PDFs of the books. I just don't have the actual material components. So I've been waiting for this for a while. So you pull this off the shelf. We can show this really quickly. So here are like the last half of the judge's book, maybe even more than the last half, is just scenarios.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it's super rules light.
Yeah. So the judge's book, this is 10 pages, is the judge's part of this. Everything else here is scenarios. And look at the artwork is really,
the art is really nice
cool
also. On this. I like this. That's why when I first saw it, I was like, oh, maybe a Western theme. This kind of reminds me, and I don't know who the artist is, but the art kind of reminds me of the person who's doing the art for the legendary DXP online game.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
if
yeah.
you've seen
Yeah,
that.
you're right,
The art
yeah.
looks a lot like that. I was trying to find, there was a, I think it's in the player's book.
But so look at so check. Let's just turn to a page here. So this is the library job. This is one of the scenarios that come. I think there are 8 or 10 scenarios in this book. So page 1.
Yeah.
Page 2. Wait, is that
Followed by a page 3.
followed by a page 3 and a page 4? That's it.
Very
That's
cool.
the scenario.
Short, simple. So how long is each game then expected to?
So they can run a while. They can. I mean, I've seen like 6 to 8 hours. So a pretty chunk. I mean, it's a good chunky beefy game.
Yeah.
with that 4 pages. But you can see there's not a lot of prep work for the GM, right? Because the nature of this heist story is such that the prep work is all part of the business that the players are doing, right? So,
Very cool.
so the players get a job to do, right? And then it's divided into these day segments. There's a deck of cards in here. Some here. The tokens are nice and beefy.
Yeah. Oh, these are. I'm gonna pop one of these out.
Yeah.
These are a little bit thinner than what you would normally find in like maybe some of your Fantasy Flight games. These are a little bit thinner, but also I want to say this may be a higher quality stock because on some other games you start to notice that they kind of spread and start to flake apart. But these are
it's not
very solid.
It's not flexible.
Yeah, very solid token.
We got this little scratch pad for scratch pad. Isn't that cute?
Oh yeah, for doing all your notes.
Yep. Oh, look at this.
Now, do these come in? So, in regards to, I'm not a big fan of like games like Yahtzee and games like this, where they are like, here's a stack of paper for all of your characters and campaign stuff, and then you use them up, and then it's like, oh, we've gone through our stack. What do we do now? Are there electronic versions of these?
I'm sure that's in the collection of PDF stuff that I've got, and yeah, probably available.
So you got a couple of those.
There's some dice.
All right.
Some
just your typical.
So there's some sets of
dice.
percentiles, and then there are also these advantage and disadvantage dice. So it's one of those things
like
where
a fate kind of thing.
The DM throws you a disadvantage die or an advantage die to help out with something.
Oh yeah, that's really crazy. And then it looks like here we have your character cards, your character sheets.
Yeah, well, so this is so you're looking at here the Vespers, the Wardens of the Night. These are the cartels that the characters.
Oh, okay.
So you would.
Oh, so this is very much like Lords of Waterdeep, where you are working with a. Like the cartel or somebody that's in charge of the city who's sending you on your missions.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavor like that in this. Yeah.
Okay, so looks like there's 3 different factions.
There are, I think, 8 or 10 different.
Oh,
I mean, look, there's
there's a hang.
There's a whole stack.
But I'm
of
seeing
these
that there are
things.
multiple copies of this.
Right,
So
so you
these
can
are for
have
your friends, for the other game.
Right, so everybody. Well, so look at this. So here's the deal. So somebody is sitting around and they go, "Hey guys, let's play Dusk City Outlaws," and everybody goes, "Well, I don't have a character rolled up, right?" And the GM is like, "I don't have an adventure plan, right?" So the GM takes the book, the judge takes the book, reads those 4 pages. In the meantime, the characters make their characters, and you do that by grabbing one of these. So you look through these. You
So there's
figure
like
out
the circle, the family.
Yeah, figure out what cartel you want to belong to, right?
Gravediggers. Oh, I like the Gravediggers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Mummers. The Red Lotus Society. That's pretty cool. The Circle. And then kind of...
Some repeats here.
Some repeats.
So you're going to have maybe 2 people would be in the same cartel, but mostly everybody would be in different cartels. That's typically how this goes, right?
And then on the back, you have a sample characters that you can create with this.
Yep.
Wow, this seems... I got to say, just by going through parts of this already...
These are the character classes.
It seems like he has taken the best of a lot of games. There are elements of Fate in here. There are elements of Baldur's Gate in here. There are elements of what's the other game that I'm thinking? Just kind of feels in this. Where
it's like a lot of things actually.
Yeah. It just feels like he's taking some of the best elements and aspects of a lot of other RPG games and kind of put them in here. And I know I'm probably being very simplistic, but you got to be aware that Brad showed up like 15 minutes ago and he's like, "Hey, let me show you this." And I'm like, "Okay, explain it to me. I know nothing about it." So we have our classes then that we have in here, and there's a lot of them.
But so now the thing about this is character creation. So you've got these cards, right? And so you just throw the cards on the table, pick a class, pick a blue card, pick a red card. Yeah. That's your character, right?
There's a lot of these.
And so look at how your characters or how your players are not fighting over a player's handbook to look at stuff.
Yeah, you just throw them out there and everybody grabs something.
Yeah, just grab a combination, make a combination that works for you.
But there's going to be some people that are going to be like, "Okay, I need to read everything on these cards."
So maybe, look at how big the card is. Maybe you guys spend 10 or 15 minutes of character creation while the GM is also prepping the adventure, and you're ready to play.
That seems,
it's
I know you and I are people that are like, let's sit down and play this game kind of people, right? It's like, hey, I'd be like, hey, this looks really cool, and hey, I want to be a mole, and so I'm going to be the Vespers group, and I'm going to be a mole. But someone else and other people may be sitting there going, whoa, wait a minute. I need to read.
What other people would do that, Stephen? Who do we know?
No, but there are people that will literally want to sit down and read the front and backs of every single one of these cards, and then sit there and contemplate and say, maybe I don't know which one I want to play yet. I'm still thinking, and then your afternoon's gone. Because this is as thick as these cards together, this is as thick as a small book.
So here's another.
Which may be the offset of small manuals are offset by, in a player's handbook, all of these would be in that book.
Right. So here's another brilliant
I'm not trying to
mechanic.
Put down. I'm just saying this is something that I see as a drawback to this.
Catch this. This is a brilliant mechanic as part of this game. So your group is going to plan a heist, right? And so there's, that period of time, and you guys do this on Critical Hit, where the players are sitting around and they're going, well, we could do this, or we could do this, or we could do this, right?
Right.
So you have somewhere in here some day and night cards. And so the judge lays out, this is going to be over the course of 3 days and 3 nights.
Okay.
Right? And so you say, okay, you're going to spend a 1 night period planning.
Oh, okay.
So the players can sit around and plan their heist, right? But they only have 15 actual minutes to do that.
Oh, neat. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a timer function built in.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and if that 15 minutes runs out, you can say, okay, you're done planning. Now, if you're not done planning, you can then waste the next day period. I'll give you another 15 minutes, but you're going to burn the next day.
And so you've only got 3 days to
or
plan and execute
however
the
many
heist.
days it takes, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not planning, then you also do what's called legwork. And that's where you go around the table and each character gets a scene, and they'd say, well, I'm going to go see if I can get some dirt on the night watchman so we can maybe blackmail him into working for us instead, or something like that, right? So you and then the judge plays that out with that character. Other characters can join in. Things can happen. It might be just a narrative scene, and then if something goes wrong, say, right, so that character suddenly gets into some trouble, but he's all alone. The other characters around the board can spend some luck points, which is one of the currencies in the game, and they can go, hey, lucky for us, I was in the, just one block over and I heard the ruckus, so I'm going to get in there and try to save my buddy's bacon, right?
Okay, cool.
So there are a lot of little, cool, exciting, it's almost like this game has been distilled down. It's like a role-playing game for board gamers. You know how you get your friends over for a night and you'd like to play a role-playing game, but nobody's prepped for that. Well, forget it. Just whip this game out, and everybody knows what a heist is. It's always a heist. I don't know. I'm really excited to have this game.
No, it's real interesting. So this deck of cards you just pulled out is the deck of quirks.
Yep.
And so what's a quirk? This is just like, hey, let me throw in a random thing to screw up your plan.
I think this is something you attach to your character.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah. So this then reminds me of what is the game? It almost feels like one of the Call of Cthulhu games where they actually are. It's the solo game, I think.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
design.
Yeah. Where
it's like, hey, you need something to help you advance your story or to figure out your character a little bit more. Here's a deck of cards for that.
Right. And so these give you different features. One of these I was just reading is like whenever you're on the docks, you're inconspicuous no matter what. Even if you're like one of the crazy Harlequin guys who's dressed like a jester, or if you're one of the grave diggers, you're always inconspicuous on the docks.
Now there are also some red cards in here. What are these cards? These are like, I've got one called the Hired Killer. So there's this guy who's a cultist. And now are these your
These are
NPCs?
enemies. These are enemies.
Enemies. Okay.
So again, instead of having to dig through a monster manual,
right there.
The judge just
so a little bit again
pulls out the card.
Thinking about little aspects of this game, this would be not quite like Warhammer Quest, but more like maybe the D&D board game where the cards are right there.
If the D&D board game were an actual role-playing game, right? Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, here are all these elements. Throw them in the pot.
Oh, look at that!
Stir them up.
There's a nice little gold string to pull to open those cards up, and I instead wasted the fun of pulling the string by using my knife. Darn it!
This guy.
Wow.
So I kind of dig that. So you got more than
there's
5 of these guys.
Pile of here's a pile of enemies.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of those. Look at those.
Yep.
Okay, so that's cool.
And so this is these are basically just the day and night cards. And if you see on the back, there's a little notation that says plus, and then what's a heat icon. So heat is one of the things that as the players are
these
being
little fire symbols.
Yeah, as the players are conspicuous and draw attention to themselves, then the judge gives them heat tokens, right? And then the judge can spend the heat tokens to bring out these complications. Like the guy you're looking for has a bodyguard all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that. Or there's a veteran bounty hunter who is searching for you.
So this game is all about just straight up stealing stuff, right? I mean, is there magic in this world?
So there's a touch of magic.
Okay.
A little bit. So there are a couple of sorcerers player classes, but you can only have one per party. So those are rarities, and those are limited to one per party. There's just not a ton of magic floating around in this, which I actually like. I mean, I want magic to be magical, right?
Yeah.
So when it happens, you're like, whoa.
Wow, yeah. Now, are there cards that the magic characters have that say, "Here's my magic spell"?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen this stuff yet. So these are the day and night cards. You just lay those out.
Oh, sure.
You got 3 days, 3 nights, and that way the players can see where they're at in the process.
Okay, but on
or
the back
4
of
days
these,
and 4 nights or whatever.
Okay.
So I think
it's all the same.
when you spend one of these, then that just
Add
reminds
some
you
heat
to add some heat to
The
your...
art is really nice on these. On all of this is really, really nice.
Yeah.
I like these day and night cards. They're very like an Art Deco kind of theme to them. So
Art Nouveau.
Yeah, Art Nouveau. Art Deco is afterwards. So
Yeah.
Neat.
So I'm really excited about this. Oh, and look at this.
Now here's the other thing that when you pulled these out, I thought this was really nice because, okay, so we put a bunch of stuff out here on the table. We've got cards that can slip around unless you're putting some what's that tape that you use all the time?
Yeah, my
magic tape,
whatever that is. Yeah,
or rubber
So-and-so's
bands or
magic
whatever
tape.
that people use. You got tokens that are going to spill around, and then you pull out these 2 little trays. I love. Well, I gotta say, when it comes to game packaging.
Yeah.
I love a well-designed package that lets you just say, here's where everything goes, and here's a cover for it, and nothing's going to spill around, so the next time you open the box, you're not going to spend 20 minutes sorting through everything.
Right.
This is really cool.
And look, they're nicely labeled.
Yeah.
Judge's tray, it says here.
Oh, nice.
And player's tray on the other one.
Oh, that is neat.
Yeah.
So,
and even there's nice artwork in the trays themselves.
yeah, I dig that. I don't know if that'll be picked up on the video or not, but...
Oh, and this is the big book. This is 240 pages.
And what is the big book?
This is the Traveler's Guide to New Dunhaven.
This is your world book.
Yeah.
This is your Forgotten Realms kind of book.
And so the game always takes place in this city. Now, I suppose as creative people, we could not do that, right? But the beautiful thing is once you played a few games of this and you start to understand the city, you don't have to lay that groundwork again and again also, right? You just come in and everybody knows the city. The city is gigantic. It has the footprint equivalent to New York City today. And it is divided up into many different little realms and locales. And then those have game function to them. So there are the docks, and there's the seedy side, and there's the aristocratic side, and all the various sections. And tons of little floor plans so you need a hovel, here's a hovel. You need a merchant's home, here's a merchant's home. And so tons of these little floor plans.
That's what I was going to ask was, where are the maps? Are there maps? Are there things that you draw out on your own? Like when you go on one of these quests, and I know it's buried underneath here, when you go on one of these quests, does it say, here's the layout of the bank vault that you're trying to...
I don't think so. Actually, that's not what I've seen. The quests are just 4 pages of text.
Okay.
So there's a description of the bank vault, right? And a description of the NPCs surrounding it and the people who are the major players in this.
And this is not so the one thing that we haven't pulled out of this box are miniatures. This is not a miniatures RPG game.
No, this is a
in your theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind game, right? So, the combat. You're not going to get bogged down in combat in this game.
How do you know how combat works in this game?
It's all percentile, so you have a percentage chance to hit something. You roll it, and you can throw in a boon or a bane or an advantage or disadvantage as it is. I don't know. I honestly, I haven't
No,
even
no.
gotten
I
into
mean,
the
I'm
dirt
throwing a
on
lot of
that.
questions at you, but I mean, people are looking at this unboxing. They're like, "Ooh, this is pretty. I want to learn more about this game. Where can people find?" I mean, this is a Kickstarter game, right?
This is a Kickstarter.
So where can people find more about this game?
I have no idea. I guess probably on Scratchpad Publishing's website.
Okay.
Presumably they have a website. I don't really even know. This is one of those
That's
things,
one of
by
the
the
things
way.
that's kind of bad about Kickstarter games is that you get a really great package, a really great game, a really fun game, and I'm guessing this is everything with the game, right? I mean, there wasn't like add-ons and expansions type
There
stuff that
are-
you passed on.
No, there are 20 or so digital scenarios that are available
Okay.
through Drive-Thru RPG. I got about 9 of those.
Okay.
Through the Kickstarter. Those sell for about $5 a piece, or in bundles for a lot cheaper than $5 a piece. It's going to be a while though
But
before you
is
run
this going
through
to
the-
land? Is this going to land on your favorite hobby store?
I would hope so. I mean, because there's a lot of physicality to this, right?
Yeah. This is really well designed for just a Kickstarter game.
Yeah, and it's also one of those games where you can buy this box in the store, take it home, and play it.
I like that.
You could play it that night, right?
I like
As a-
that too.
Yeah.
I would. Now, I'm not dismissing your claim that you can just take it right home and play it. I would have to see that in action. To be honest, I would have to see. Here's a game. I mean, it seems like everybody at the table needs to have some familiarity with the game first before you play it.
Probably not.
You think? Okay.
Yeah, probably
All right.
not.
I will
And
take your word for it.
Maybe the judge need, like, I don't know what the combat mechanic is exactly, right? And so I would need to look at what the combat mechanic is, and that kind of stuff. But I don't have to research the scenario. I don't have to know a lot about the world.
Yeah. I like that these cards in this book are the same thickness.
Right.
So again, these cards serve as a mini book.
So look at your trays and look at the tops of your trays.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
Oh, brilliant. This is, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
good storage design.
Yeah. Rodney's not messing around.
This is awesome.
Yeah. And so those fit in the box side by side in the book. I mean, it's no accident that the cards are about the same size as that book, because they sit side by side and hold
Now,
each other in place.
Is this supposed to sit there too or not?
Yeah, that'll sit there. But when you get
Okay.
them both in the box here, side by side, they fill up the space.
Wow, neat. Oh, so there you go. That is this is Dusk City Outlaws. It is from
Scratchpad Publishing
Scratchpad
and
Publishing.
Rodney Thompson.
So a lot of people know Rodney Thompson's name, so this should be something that, and I know for a lot of gamers, they're attracted to who the game designer is, and they'll be like someone's favorite author or someone's favorite comic book artist. They'll follow them from project to project.
Yeah.
So I guess if people are looking for something, this might be a good game to check out if they're a fan of Rodney Thompson.
I think if you're looking for a, I like to play a role-playing game occasionally when my friends come over, but I don't want to have to mess with the legwork and the brain work of prepping for it. This is that game.
Yeah. Well, I want to get more into it. Like, it says a game for 3 to 6 players. Can you run all of these heists with just 2 players?
Right.
I want to see
That's
how
a
that
good
works
question.
and how
Yeah.
does it change if you have more. All will be known eventually.
Yep.
Dusk City Outlaws. Go check it out, everybody. Thanks, Brad, for bringing this over.
My pleasure.
And letting us do this unboxing. It seems really cool.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.